Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Monkey D. Garp is one of the most powerful Marines, and second only to the Admirals in strength due to his advanced age. And even though he may not be as strong as he was in the past, he still proves to be a very powerful Marine and character in the story. Currently, Garp is on his way to find and defeat Marshal D. Teach in order to rescue Kobe, a fight in which it could end up being legendary, and we'll finally get to see Garp using all his strength and actually fight seriously against an extremely powerful and dangerous enemy. So in today's video, we're going to talk about Garp's confrontation against Teach, who can win this amazing battle, and how strong Garp is even though he may not be at the top because he is a bit on in years. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out, especially with that YouTube algorithm, and it continues to motivate us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, as we know, Monkey D. Garp is an extremely famous and powerful Navy Vice Admiral, and even though he's been offered the post of Admiral several times, in every case he refused because Garp never wanted to have to follow the direct orders of the world government or the Celestial Dragons. Garp is one of the most important characters from the past, along with Kong, Sengoku, Shiki the Golden Lion, Silver's Rayleigh, Suru, Whitebeard Zebek, and Roger, each of them being legendary figures from the One Piece universe. One of the reasons for Garp's universal and worldwide fame is the fact that he was the rival of Gold D. Roger. In every case that they clashed, which there were many, they always fought to a standstill and a draw, leaving both severely injured after every battle. Thus, Garp is recognized worldwide as somebody strong and is one of the reasons he's known as the hero of the Navy. Garp is also one of the few Marines that could stop just about any powerful pirate from committing a crime. Even at his advanced age now, Garp is still able to stop pirates from breaking laws and even causing trouble in the world. At this very moment in the manga, around chapter 1071, Garp is on his way to go save Kobe, who was captured at the tail end of the Wano arc while on a mission to capture former warlord Boa Hancock on Kuja Island. In the middle of the battle, Kobe ended up being captured by Teach, who was on that island looking for Hancock to take her powers. But now that Kobe is in Teach's hands, and Teach is also proclaimed as a Yonko, the Navy can't do anything to save the young Marine, because if the Navy were to do that, it would trigger a huge conflict between the pirates and the Navy. However, even though many Marines are willing to let Teach do whatever he wants to Kobe, Garp is not going to allow this to happen. And to that point, Garp has never been shy about disobeying Navy orders or rules, so it's really not a surprise that he's going to disobey direct orders to go save Kobe's life. So with Garp now having gotten a small crew to come with him on this rescue mission, we know that he's going to be out to find Teach, who could still be in active battle against Law's crew on whichever island is nearest Wano that Law ended up on. But in any case, we're going to get to see Garp in action, where he could very likely emerge victorious, managing to beat Teach and rescue Kobe, and he might even end up bailing out Law in the process. But on the other hand, it's also likely that Garp could still free Kobe, but in the process lose his life doing so. And if Garp were to lose his life to Teach, this would unleash the fury of not only the Navy, but also the Straw Hats against Teach, making Teach all the more hated worldwide. But right now, Teach could very well be at his peak, possessing the power of 2 devil fruits and is maybe even considered one of the strongest people in the world, while Garp simply has his physical strength and his haki, which, although is amazing, is still not what it had been when he was at his peak. Another thing to consider about the uncertainty of this battle is we don't exactly know how Oda intends to make this confrontation between Garp and Teach happen, but whenever it occurs, this fight promises to be one of the most incredible ones shown inside of our story. Because the little we do know about Garp's past and his peak, we know he was a powerful sailor, so we might get to learn even more about our favorite grandpa. We know that Garp, as a Marine soldier, has had an amazing career with immense notoriety and prestige, especially during one incident known as the God Valley incident, earning him the title of the Hero of the Marines, an event in which Garp, along with Roger, took down the strongest pirate in the world called Rox D. Zebek. It took 2 of the most powerful people in the world to take down this pirate, and it ended up being an event that benefited them both, because through Zebek's defeat, there wouldn't be any pirates any stronger than Roger, while unfortunately, Garp took all the credit for having beaten Zebek, because the world government couldn't have the Marines consorting and allying themselves with a pirate, even if it was necessary to save the world. And with all the speculation about connections between Teach and Zebek, during the battle that is bound to happen, we could get some flashbacks and some backstory about what this connection is, and we might even get to see a little bit more from Garp's perspective about what exactly went down in God Valley, because it's an incident that he rarely, if ever, talks about. But after God Valley, Garp is pretty much considered a living legend and is still one of the strongest sailors of all time. In his prime, again, he was famous because he had fought Roger so many times and was really one of the only people capable of fighting the Pirate King one-on-one. In fact, Roger even confirmed that he and Garp nearly took each other's lives many times during their fights. Another testament to Garp's sheer power is that he defeated and nearly took the life of Don Chinzhao in the past with a single punch. Now, Don Chinzhao at the time was an extremely powerful pirate whose bounty was 542 million at the time, and he was a pirate said to possess the ability to divide the continent with a simple headbutt because of his spiky-shaped head. This incident alone earned Garp the epithet of Garp the Fist, and Chinzhao himself said that during that time, all pirates saw Garp as a devil to them. Even at the age of 76, during the Battle of Marineford, he was easily able to defeat Marco the Phoenix, Whitebeard's right-hand man, something that both Kizaru and Akainu seemed to be incapable of doing. And even during that same Battle of Marineford, after Ace had lost his life, there had even been the possibility that Garp would have even taken Akainu's life had Sengoku not held him down. This clearly shows that even at his advanced age, Garp is still incredibly powerful, even against a Marine that has a higher position above him, possibly making him the most powerful sailor before the time skip. Despite his rebellious personality and penchant for ignoring direct orders from the Marines, Garp still has enough influence and power that not even the world nobles dare get rid of him, being a hindrance in which the Gorosei can't do anything about, and they just accept that Garp bows to no order that he disagrees with. So before we wrap things up for the video, let's go over just a few more achievements and example of Garp's strength and why it's considered legendary. During his peak, Garp's physical strength was the greatest in existence, and his fists were able to go directly against Roger's sword, easily managing to match his hockey level with that of the Pirate King. During his training to face Don Chinzhao, he claimed to have crushed 8 different mountains, and this is even proven where we see the dent in Don Chinzhao's drill head, which was powerful enough to split a hard ice continent in two with pretty relative ease. Even in his old age now, we've seen Garp able to hurl iron cannonballs like baseballs at speeds higher than had they been fired by a real cannon. And considering the fact that he matched his hockey level with that of Roger's, it's most likely that not only was he throwing those cannonballs coated with hockey, they were coated with Conqueror's hockey at that. As we said before, during the Battle of Marineford, he took down Marco with a single blow. And in the anime, Garp took down Jesus Burgess, who is a master fighter with titanic physical strength, and Garp did it without any effort. In addition to his strength, he also has incredible durability and pain tolerance, as we saw when he was cut down by Captain Morgan's axe hand in an attack that had proved to be pretty much insignificant to Garp. Garp was also able to get back up after being punched by Luffy in Gear 2nd at close range without losing consciousness, and he was even able to fight the Blackbeard pirates along with Sengoku. Garp has also been shown to be extremely fast and agile for his size, as he managed to get all around the Straw Hats to a sleeping Luffy, and he was even able to instantly jump to Marco in his Phoenix form with zero problem. And all of this that Garp has been done without a devil fruit. Just one man, his strength, his fists, and hockey. Now, although we don't have confirmed that Garp is a user of Conqueror's hockey, we know that being a Vice Admiral, he has mastery of all the other types of hockey, and there's no way that he could have matched and exchanged blows with Roger without having had Conqueror's hockey. Now, Oda's never made it clear whether hockey is something that one can inherit or if it follows down a family line. But if we just reason it out by the fact that Luffy was born with Conqueror's hockey, his brother Ace, but Dragon most assuredly has Conqueror's hockey, being the leader of the Revolutionary Army, it's not a big stretch to think that Luffy got his hockey from his dad, who got it from his dad, Grandpa Garp. And in closing, the fact that Garp doesn't have a devil fruit and just his incredible physical strength and hockey makes him actually have a pretty huge advantage against Teach and his Dark fruit, because Teach relies on the fact that once he makes physical contact with an opponent, he can nullify their Devil Fruit powers. And if that's the case, there's nothing to nullify in Garp. In addition to the fact, when Teach gets hit, he receives twice the damage because his Logia fruit doesn't act like a regular Logia fruit, making Garp even more powerful in the fight because even though he's not in his prime, any hit he lands on Teach will be delivered at twice the power. So the only wild card in this whole fight is the animenomi, meaning the Quake fruit. And what Teach might have learned how to do with it, that might be the only thing that really stands as a way that Teach could win out against Garp. And it's also important to note that Teach is a master strategist and a master of waiting out and being patient for the long game. So Teach will most definitely have different ways and think of different ways to defeat Garp during this upcoming battle. So we can expect many different interesting twists and turns in this fight, especially once Garp finds Teach in these next few chapters. So with all that said, my friends, we'd now love to know what you think about it. How do you think it's going to go down between Garp and Teach? Do you think Garp's going to come out the victor, or is Teach going to pull one out because he's got these two different fruits that he can work with? Secondly, do you think we might get a flashback or some backstory? Because we've had all of these interesting kind of parallels between Roxy Zebek and Marshall D. Teach. Do you think that when he and Garp cross paths, we might get a little bit of a flashback and a little bit more explanation as to what connection there is between Teach and Rox? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up our video, we'd like to thank you so much for watching the video, especially those of you who've stayed with us here to the very end. Make sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.